to give it a shot and see if you can crack it yourself?
Okay, doing a voice test. Hello. I got a couple hours before I have to head out. A little update on me is I haven't been feeling too good this morning, so I haven't ate yet. I've been dealing with some cramping and waves of nausea. I might eat something a little later, but so I got a couple of hours before I have to head out. So apparently there's some drama going on between Shanny, G-Man, and Buff. Now, I haven't seen any of it. Just people have been letting me know, like in comment sections and stuff like that. And Shanny's latest video, where she just goes on some kind of a, I don't even know what to call it, but it's a rant where she's just complaining about everything and how we all suck, especially Buff in the G-Man situation. So apparently she went into a Discord and got her feelings hurt, got insulted or whatever. Like I said, I don't really do Discord. There's really only one person I actually have anything to do with on Discord anymore. There was two, but the other one, he just got to where I just couldn't deal with him anymore. All the questions, religious questions, spiritual questions. I just like, dude, I'm not a priest, man. And I try to answer as best as I know how, but nothing seems to satisfy this guy. He can't seem to get to a place to where he's the one that has to resolve his own faith with his own real life issues. Very little I can do about it except try to be understanding and everything. And yeah, I've been dealing with this kid for like at least 10 years or more. I can't remember. I think it was around 2008 or 9 or something where I first contacted him. But yeah, I can't talk to this guy anymore. He's gonna have to deal with God. He's gonna have to take it to God. Whatever his problems are, he's gonna have to take it to God. But how you doing, Undead? Hello, Granny Whisperer. Shanny, yeah, she put out a video, and I'm going to do the fat photog part of it because he seems to like get everything together in one place, all the pertinent stuff. And yeah, so the sum of money, I guess I heard, was $20 that she feels he cheated him out of $20, and I haven't seen or heard anything from Buffweeb's side of things, but uh, I think G-Man upset him, and now Shanny's upset him or something. Or that's what they're saying. I don't know. I don't know if it really is so or not. Dude, excuse me, aren't we supposed to take our problems to God? Yeah, but okay. As Christians, we can talk to each other and be supportive of each other, and counsel each other and stuff, and try to help if humanly possible. That's what we're supposed to do as Christians. But the guy is like really far away, so there's very little I can do. And his problems and questions he's been posing to me over the last several years has been more spiritual, reconciling his own failures to live up to whatever standards he feels he needs to live up to be a true follower of Christ. I keep trying to reassure him that he if he is a believer, then that's what he is, and that he should try to seek out God on a spiritual level to give him comfort. But I can't provide that. I can encourage him, but I can't provide it for him. Um, so anyway, I don't want to talk about that anymore. But so I said that because like I don't do Discord. Those are the only two exceptions I do Discord. I talk to Undead Raymond on her Discord occasionally, and that other fellow. That's all the Discord I do. So um, anyway, enough of that. So yeah, Shanny, when she was doing her rant thing, she once again was saying how special she is, how superior she is, that she's a special human being, that she's the chosen one of God, that uh, when we go to heaven to be judged, that the first person we meet is her, and that she's going to give Jesus either the thumbs up or thumbs down in so many words. And once she says, "Well, once you no longer like having to deal with me, then you have to deal with Jesus, which is going to be an even worse thing." So Shanny now claims to be more merciful than Christ in so many words, and if we don't start towing the line, so to speak, then we're no longer going to have her grace in our lives, and we're going to have to deal with the foot up the ass from Jesus. So, thanks for sharing, Undead. They can't see. I can't see Undead. They blocked me for some reason. Well, Undead is here. I see her in the comments. Um, Undead might have you blocked. I don't know. So, yeah, if you block someone, you can't see the comment. I got several people blocked. Like when I used to go to like Carrie's channel or other people's channels, certain people that are constantly giving me crap for some reason. Um, they like to post comments and try to get me into an argument or something, and I just block them, and I can no longer see their comments. Anyway, yeah, of course, she's the gatekeeper of Christ. But anyway, so let me screen share. There is a serious lag on my phone. I think it's at least a minute or two, but like on my phone, it's just now getting this page, even though I've been on this page for at least a minute. So there's some kind of a delay. But anyway, there's a couple of these I haven't seen yet. Okay, I don't think that was it. Yeah, this had to be it. The 31.27 minute one. I thought I seen one where Jason was flipping off everybody. There's okay, no, that ain't it. I thought I seen a thumbnail where Jason was flipping off the camera. Hmm. Anyhow, so let's do this here.
And you can't silence me the way you want.
Right.
Ever since I said that Jesus Christ is Lord, there has been an ongoing smear campaign. And the reason is
The reason is not because you follow Jesus. No, no, no. You're talking about when you first became a believer, so called. That no, the first people that started messing with you were people in the Great Debate community, people like the Drunken Peasants, Geek Room, etc. Those kinds of people, and they were criticizing you for the insane claims you were making that went even more beyond what, say, Christianity would be presenting. So you, sorry, why is my throat messed up? You went beyond the usually the expected areas of what Christendom would try to present. You were talking like how the moon's a hologram, and uh, you were sharing elements of your life that were cringy. You just happened to claim to be Christian while you were doing it. Your Christianity really wasn't the issue. The issue was the things you were talking about. So, um, Shanny gave strict instructions on how she wanted Chantel to sex up her husband, even getting on the floor to demonstrate. I hope she's merciful with Chantel if she did what? I don't even understand any of that. So yeah, Undead posted something and I barely understand any of it. But anyway, yeah, so that was the issues that Shanny was presenting, that she was talking about crazy stuff and she just happened to claim Christianity at the time. It wasn't because she was a Christian. And people like her, they like to mix this up. They like to say, well, like say for example, if say a person was robbing a bank and then they get arrested, and then they say, you're arresting me because I'm black. Says, no, I'm arresting you because you were robbing the bank. You just happen to be black. And, it's that sort of thing, um, or whatever ethnicity they're claiming. So yeah, it's really really crazy. Shanny just doesn't want her past, her choices to be like her accountability. She wants it to be all these extenuating circumstances that are out of her control. But then, of course, she's the special chosen one of God, and it just doesn't line up. It's like, okay, if you're the chosen one, why can't you choose to live better? Why can't you? I mean, if you have like greater status from the Creator Himself, if you have greater status than the rest of us, then how come your life is worse? If we can live greater than you, then why are you claiming to be greater than we are? Why can't okay, why can't she just claim to just be like on an even level, which really isn't true, but that's more acceptable than saying she's better than everybody. But that's basically what she's saying. You should give me what I want because I'm better than all of you. That's what she's essentially saying, and that's what Vaughn is saying. That she should have like there should be some kind of like link that she could go online where she has access to everybody else's bank accounts, property, like she has keys to anyone's house that she wants. She can access anyone's bank account anytime she feels like it. This is what she believes that she's owed. or this is what she believes that her life should be like. She should just get stuff because she wants stuff, and then she should be allowed to talk and criticize and malign and accuse or praise. Usually it's negative stuff, but she should be allowed to do that with anyone, anytime, anywhere, and get nothing but adulation from the masses. And oh, she like okay, when she was living in the house, going in the bucket, there are videos of her wanting pats on the back where she had to do it by herself, like she's freaking 2 years old. I kid you not. There's a video of her talking about, well, I used the bathroom by myself today. Well, congratulations. You did what every other human being on earth can do pretty much after age 2.
Targeted individual. I've worked for people, aka John Casablanca, who are satanic. I come from a satanic family who pretty much changed our whole history. The McGraws are elitist fucking assholes, and they
Okay, and I think the reason why she was talking about the McGraws, like her family, her maiden name. Okay, so is because she no longer wants the people to talk about her individual life. So now she has to. So now she has to be above it all and saying, "Well, this is my family history, and they suck, and they." She's going to say that her mom and dad trafficked her, sex trafficked her. Right? I kid you not. I cannot believe what I was hearing. Like I know she alluded that her that she almost went to Epstein Island. I don't know. I don't really remember the details of how she said that, how she tried to make that claim. But I just rolled my eyes and ignored it. I was like, this no. Well, I almost went to the Epstein Island because see what this does is it takes away, it cheapens, just like the cancer bullshit. It cheapens the actual hardships that the young ladies went through at Epstein. It cheapens what they went through. And to do that, you got to be an extreme low life scumbag. I mean, like, it's why would you claim to be the victim of horrible crap when it never happened to you, but it has happened to others? Why would you do that? You know, and that explains how she always takes other people's histories. She took some of mine, she took some of Sabella's, she took some from other people, and she grafted it into her own past to make her mother look as horrible as possible. And what I don't understand is why she feels that angry towards her mother. And the only thing I heard that is that her mother told her she couldn't like run around at age 15, 16. She couldn't run around with college age boys. She couldn't like she wanted to go and party in a car full of college aged young men when she was only around 16. And then something bad happened and her mother said, yes, something bad happened because she wouldn't listen and she put herself in a dangerous situation. I'm not saying that should have happened to her, but you got to be careful, and kids need to listen to their parents when they're trying to protect them. But she ended up in a situation where something terrible happened because she wouldn't listen to anybody, and because of that, and because of being told no and everything else, her mother became a bad person in her eyes. So if there's other things that happen other than that, I'm not aware of it, but I'm I'm thinking that there were other things that happened between her and her mother where her mother told her she couldn't do it, and then Shanny got offended. So, and then that just added to it. Whatever it was, it had to be more than just that one incident. But I I can't like understand or imagine what things happen between the two of them where she feels that she can make up a lie like this and paint her parents out to be sex traffickers, and they're no longer alive to defend themselves or to call her out for it. And so I don't understand where this is coming from. And why just her? She's got brothers and sisters. Why only her? And that's the thing that doesn't make sense. If you've got abusive parents, why would they only abuse one kid and treat the rest of the kids like normal? Why? That makes no sense. Usually when parents abuse or abusive towards their kids, it's because they're stressed out and they're animals to start with, and they're stressed out and they take their frustrations out on the people that depend on them, because they no longer see them as children that they should nurture. They see them as leeches, and also an easy target. And they wouldn't just focus on one kid. If they focus on one kid at all, it's that one kid gets treated well while the rest get treated like crap. That was the situation in my household. One of my siblings was treated like a princess, and the rest of us were treated like, I don't know, like back in the slave days or something. But anyway, on with this.
They virtually destroyed my life. They never nurtured me. They never cared for me. So, for the majority of my life, I was on my own to learn things, to fail at things. While I
Oh, she stole that directly from me. I remember that was one of the things that she when I was talking about my folks, how my folks would not allow us, my brother and I, to learn how to be an adult. We would ask questions, and we were told that we quit asking dumb questions. No, we want to know so that we can function in life. And like, we weren't allowed to have driver's licenses because they were stealing our money. And if you had a driver's license, this is back in the late 70s, um, that a driver's license could be used to cash your paycheck. They had the actual physical real checks. There wasn't anything online, anything back then. So they signed our names, they forged our names to our paychecks. We never even got to see our paychecks. And so, and we weren't allowed to, like, say, learn how to drive. We weren't allowed to um, function socially in any kind of way. We weren't allowed to learn how the world works and function in it. So the only thing we were able to figure out was from whatever we could figure out from watching TV, what we could figure out from talking to the few people that we could talk to, and then when we went in the military, we were like almost completely ignorant about the adult world in real life. So, like I said, when I went in the Marine Corps, I look at that as my high school, because that was when I first started dating women, and learning things and stuff like that, that I should have learned, growing up as a teenager. I had to pick it up, you know, when I was in the military. So and Shanny stole that, and then she's talking about it here. Her mother and father didn't keep her ignorant. That's stupid. So why would they nurture and allow the rest of her siblings to mature, but not her? That's just dumb.
had a whole crowd of people documenting every downfall I've had, every miscommunication I've had, every painful, humiliating thing I've done. And they put it down as I'm a horrible person. Now I
You
can tell you
are, Shanny. Who abused your kids? Your kids were taken away by CPS. Who abused your kids? Your so-called husband abused your kids physically. Then also, it's been said, this hasn't been proven, but it's been said that I don't know if William came out and admitted it or not. I really didn't see a lot or hear a lot what he had to say. I know there was an interview a while back, but he might have said, yeah, she did physically abuse us. She might have said that. I don't know, but he could have. So there's rumors out there that you yourself have physically abused your own kids. One thing I know for sure, you did abuse your kids by not feeding them and cleaning and forcing them to live in the worst filth I've ever seen. So you are a terrible person. Quit trying to say you're not. And here's an idea. Why don't you just shut up? Why don't you just shut up? And eventually all this stuff will fade away into the ether of the internet. Way back in the day. And maybe in about 10 years or so, people will stop talking about it. I give it about 10 years. If Shanny just stopped right now, it will probably take about 10 years for people to stop talking about it. If she would shut up and disappear, or go onto some other platform, or come back with an avatar and a voice altering software where nobody would know it was her, and then she could do whatever YouTube thing that she wants to do. Um, that's how much damage she has done to herself.
I'm not a horrible person. I'm a very kind person. I'm a very given person. I'm a very empathic person.
Oh, shut
These
up.
people,
If anyone ever tells you I'm an empathic person, run. Run. I hate this. I hate that freaking word now. Ever since she started, I hate it. God. There is no such thing as an empath. That is a fantasy. That is a fictional ability. Okay, there is empathy, but nobody's empathic. That's physically impossible. If you think you're an empath, you have a mental illness. What that means is that you have no control over your emotions. Because Shanny is saying, well, an empath, somebody with has the fictional power of being an empath, that means that they feel the emotions of other people. And if you think you feel the emotions of other people, you have a mental illness. I'm sorry, you do. Empathy is altogether another animal. Empathy means that you can imagine yourself in somebody else's position, and you can empathize. You can picture yourself as them and how they would feel about certain things. And then beyond that, there's sympathy. Then that can develop a type of sympathy. Sympathy means that you feel sorrow for that person, that you can relate to them and their situation. Empathy means you can sense it, that you get a sense of it. Sympathy means you have the emotion. I don't know if I worded that correctly, but we all know it. Why do these words need to be explained anyway? We all know. I don't have the Webster's dictionary definition of sympathy, but I know what it is.
who attack me on a daily basis. And if I wasn't special, if I didn't say the
But
right
what's
things by the
special?
Lord, I wouldn't have been attacked the way I am. Jesus Christ.
So this is why people are against her, is because she speaks for the Lord. This is nuts. That is not the reason why people say the things they say about Shanny. That's not the reason I say the things I say about Shanny. I don't say the things about Shannon because she believes she speaks for the Lord. My issues with that, I will come right out and tell her as a believer myself. I would come out and tell her, no, you don't speak for the Lord because I don't recall anybody other than you or any story in the Bible where anyone speaks the things that you speak and then do the things that you do. I haven't encountered anyone in the Bible like that. I haven't heard of anybody in Christendom that behaves that way. Because if they did, they'd be booted out of the church.
Christ even said it himself, if the world hates you, know that I hated myself. These people go after family members, these people go after friends, these people go
Who are
after
these people? Who who are these people? What Shanny's saying, these people are going after the family members. She's talking about all the people that say bad stuff about her, that we're all in some kind of cabal, some sort of organization. There's a conspiracy. Vaughn says pretty much the same thing. They are out of their minds. It's all so that they can say, look, my situation is not my fault. My situation is because I got these powerful forces working against me. Okay, let's assume it's true. Why? What would be in it for us? Vaughn says that we all could get a share of his inheritance. Shanny is simply because we hate God. Is that it? We hate Christ. So that's the best answer I can come up with, given the things that she's been saying. Shanny believes that we say all and do all the, well, we don't really do anything, but that we say all the things that we say about her because we hate Christ. So therefore we have to hate her. No such claim has ever been made.
jobs, opportunities. They go after government officials to do everything they can to silence me. I will not be
They're even going to government officials to try to silence you. What kind of delusions is this?
silenced over the abuse I've had to go through, the satanic ritual abuse I've been through, and
You've never been through any satanic ritual abuse. Are you nuts? Well, yeah, yeah. I ask that all the time. I ask that. I say that, as a just a gut reaction. I really didn't think about it, but yeah, of course she's nuts.
the smear campaign is a satanic ritual abuse because it's a humiliation ritual. They think they
Um. Oh my god, I gotta call bullshit on this, Shanny. I just got to. I really don't know that much about satanic ritual abuse stuff. I know it does happen occasionally. You hear about it, but it's like it's so rare to hear about, really. And there's very little like information that you can use to pin down the culprits, or even if that's what it really is. Sometimes it's just a bunch of kids, like they'll go out to a graveyard or something and they'll like party, they'll drink, and then they'll like have a bonfire or something, and they'll write put satanic graffiti on the tombstones, and I don't know, hang some stuff from some tree limbs that are like might be considered satanic symbolism or whatever. Um, you might hear about some stuff like that, and it's usually just a bunch of kids just being dumb, like they're really not into it, and but there has been some rare cases, and I've seen a documentary where um, a group of younger people, like teenagers or whatever, and maybe a little older, they have committed murder and been sent to prison for it, and then it came out that they were into all the satanic stuff. And I remember a case. This was many years ago, where they kidnapped some kids, a couple of kids, like two or three. I don't remember the exact number, but they tortured them to death, and they went to prison for it. And then it came out, and the people that were involved, there's like three older, like teenager, maybe a little bit older adults that were involved. And then they interviewed each of them, and things started coming out. The things that they claimed they did to these kids, and it was horrific. But these are rare stories. If there's anything like that going on, they're really keeping it secret. So Shanny is just trying to latch onto this because she's seen some video or something, and she's just saying, "Well, yeah, that's what I went through." And maybe there might have been one or two elements in the story that sounds like something similar that she either claimed in the past or had a dream, or like she's talking about, you'll hear later, she's talking about like gaps in her memory. And yeah, we all have gaps in our childhood memory, because if you can remember, I mean, it's a good thing, because if you can remember everything you ever did, from the time you can first start forming memories all the way up to your present day. If you can remember every little thing you did, you'd probably die of embarrassment. I know I would.
They can feed off my negative emotions because
Oh,
they
no one really
sold
matters.
their soul out. Me, I don't want to sell my
What's
soul out. I belong to Jesus Christ, and I declare I will
actually we can?
die declaring Jesus Christ is Lord. I will not sign a
Oh, come on, Shanny. I think I accidentally pushed a phone number. No, that's somebody was calling me. Okay. I thought I pushed a button or something, and my phone was ringing. No, it's somebody trying to buy my car or something.
contract to hurt children so I can get money. I will not sign a contract to hurt
Who? I don't understand this. Who is offering you a contract to hurt kids? She's just pulling stuff just right out of her butt, man. I'm like,
no one. I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to fight.
oh, you certainly do, Shanny. You certainly do. How many times have you beat Rev's ass? How many times have you put your hands on your kids? How many times, like, there are actual police records of you assaulting members of your own family, your brother-in-law, your mother and father, and at least one of your siblings. You berated your own brother for coming out as gay to the point where he was near suicidal. Of course, you want to hurt people.
People. I want to understand people. I
No,
want to
you
know
don't. Then how come you can't understand basic human survival instinct? How come you can't, or just the unspoken social agreement amongst all humans that if you want to have things in life, you have to actually get up and do something. Work a job. Work a job. Yeah. The easiest, most well, the easiest thing to understand um, in our community, as I even don't know how to word it properly, how to describe what we are. But the but the society, human society, specifically where we're at currently, which is in the United States, it's understood easiest by people if they want money, if they want to be able to have a place to live, if they want to be able to live comfortably, then you learn basic skills like cooking and cleaning and laundry and stuff like that. You learn that by helping out your parents in your home growing up. Um, or if you didn't have parents, you learned it from whoever was taking care of you. This is something that's basically understood by all, that these are the things you need to do. Now, in order to do those things, you need an income in order to have to pay for a place and the utilities that come with it. Whether it be an apartment, whether you're buying a house, you have to have an income in order to provide those things. And then you got to do those chores in the house. Okay. And the easiest way for us to understand how to acquire those things is that to get a physical job, an actual job. Most of us can figure that out. Okay, now there are a few among us that have figured out, hey, I don't have to keep like working physically every day if I educate myself in this other field, in this other skill, or become like a somebody with a lot of education, like someone with a PhD or something, and become a lawyer or a doctor or whatever the education that's required to do those things. Then you're pretty much guaranteed that you're going to have a halfway decent income. There's a really good chance that that can happen. Now that people have messed up, they've gotten these things and they've messed up. That doesn't eliminate the possibility; it just greatly reduces it. That you will have a much better way of providing for yourself and your loved ones. Shanny, you want to go from zero to the top. Okay, you want basically what you and Jason want is become celebrities, have a celebrity status, but most people that try to become that fail. The people we hear about, the people we see, those are the rare exceptions. There's probably for every one person we see that's famous and has a great career, like say Tom Cruise or somebody that has like they're really famous, and they've been in movies and stuff like that. There are at least probably 1,000 other people that are exactly as talented as he is that just didn't have the opportunity presented, or they weren't in the right place at the right time. It's like getting struck by lightning. Most people that go into that arena, they're doing it because they like it, but most of them don't really make a good living at it. Only a few have. So you don't seem to get that. It's just it's the same way with like people who become very famous um, and successful uh, sports people, athletes. They are the exception. They are not the norm. Like there are thousands. My nephew was one of these kids that were really good at sports. My nephew was really good at basketball, and he wanted to be a basketball player, but he hated school. I told him, I said, look, odds are, yeah, you might do well in high school, maybe college, and if you can do it in college, you're only going to be able to get into college if you keep your grades up. In fact, they won't let you play sports if you don't keep your grades at a passing grade level. Like you can't get like D's and crap, D's and F. You can't get D's and F's. You got to at least get a C average. And I don't think you can get a D or F in any subject and still play sports. I don't know what the rules are, but I'm pretty sure it's close to that. But anyway, so you got to have a C average or better in order to maintain your privilege to play sports in high school. And then you'll get noticed by college when they come and look, the college scouts will come and look at, the players and see if they're ready, see if they can get them to, excuse me, to play play sports at their college. You have to not only be really good enough to be able to get into that college and do the work, the academic work at the college. You have to actually and be good enough to um, play the sport. And even if you have all those things going for you, you can hurt yourself, or you might not do as well as you hoped you would in college, and you don't get to go pro. But like I barely know any of that, but I know that much. So Shanny, you and Jason, you're like my nephew. When I told him that, he was like really like discouraged. And I said, I'm sorry, but that's reality. You need to hear it now before you start, thinking you're going to go get that brass ring. Like, fine, go ahead, pursue your dreams, but be realistic. Uh, so he didn't make it. He screwed up. His He's in his 30s now. His life is a train wreck. But anyway, you didn't seem to learn that, and you're acting like the children that are talking about what they want to be when they grow up, and then you're mad that you didn't get it. That's how you sound. In fact, as this continues, you sound more and more childlike. You sound more and more like a pissed off kid. And that's what I was thinking when I was hearing this.
Know that people are okay. I want to know people are safe. I want to know people are mentally sound. I want to know that people aren't being harmed.
Bullshit.
I want to know that people aren't feeling sad and
You
confused.
don't want to know any of those things. You're just saying that. In other words, what you're saying here is that you want people to be like that to you. You're saying, I want to people to be okay. I want people to, to be comfortable in their life and to be good and all that. No, you don't want that. You want that for yourself, and you want us to provide it.
About how dark this world is, but the smear campaign continues because they don't want me to speak and they want people to not listen.
I don't care if you speak. I just want you to stop speaking moron, okay? I want you to stop speaking like you're freaking insane.
And that's why the smear campaign is there, because this is within MK Ultra, this is government involved too. They do this purposely so people don't
Yeah,
listen.
there's actually, I think it was this one. I can't be absolutely certain, but I think it's this one. Where like towards the end, she's like doing that sing song voice that like a 5-year old or 6-year old would do, like you suck, neener neener neener. It's like that, like a little kid. I'm like, oh my god, and she was complaining about Buffweed. Now, like I said, I haven't seen any of Buffweed's stuff. He's a little over the top for me. Like he's like one of those shock DJs from like the '90s. So yeah, he's a little bit much for me to deal with. Like I could probably watch him for a few minutes, but it's like it's just too much. And there are people that like that. I'm just not one of them.
So people are distracted to what the truth is. Have I done things in the past that I regret? 100.
Nope, you don't regret a damn thing. The only thing you regret is people talking about it. You haven't repented of a thing, woman. I know that. Because when people brought it to your attention, you tried to say, "Oh, it never happened. That never happened." It's like, "Oh, so when you were on video doing the thing that you say never happened, the video was what? Created by AI 5 years ago?" Like, why would anyone go through this much trouble? Shanny, people don't make that much money off of you. People that talk about you, even the ones with the big channels, they no, your content does not make enough money for them to go to that level of deception. And I'm sure there'd be easier people to go after than you if that's what they wanted to do.
Percent, but everyone else has. Why do I get the greater punishment when everyone's made similar mistakes as I have? The thing
Everyone, she did. She said that. Everyone has made similar mistakes as me. So everyone abuses their kids. Everyone lives in filth. Shanny, I haven't even picked up my place in like the last 4 days. My place is immaculate compared to yours. A freaking dumpster is immaculate compared to the place you live. In fact, you don't even have a place. You live in a tent and you still leave trash laying around. You'll never change, Shanny. You're always going to be a filthy, disgusting pig. A lazy, entitled, filthy, disgusting pig. That's all you're ever going to be. Unless God miracles your freaking butt into something else.
things I've done in life are minor compared to what these demonic entities do. They stalk people, they harass people, they demean them, they dehumanize them, they treat them like they don't have any feelings because
She says to them, she means her. She means her. She means herself. Shanny, we never made you homeless. We never made you live in filth. We never made you beg for DoorDash and all this stuff. We never made you do any of those things. We never made you poop in a bucket. We never made you talk about all your personal crap. We never made you do any of those things. What are you talking about? These are choices you made through your life. And the consequences are the same for me as they are for you. If I did the same things you did, I would be in a world of crap. I would have a hard time paying my bills and I would eventually be homeless. Because the same rules apply to me that apply to you. You're not special. You're not living under any special circumstance where special rules apply. And if they did, why are you in worse shape than me? If you are superior to me, you have superior powers, you have superior uh, people backing you up and entities and crap. And same with Vaughn. Then why is your life miserable? Why are you in a more miserable state than me? If I'm inferior, if my circumstances are inferior to yours, why are you living an inferior life to me?
they lack the feelings. They're sociopathic and they're demonically charged and they're not your friend. They may act like your friend, they'll smile in your face, they'll give you money, but behind the scenes, they treat you like trash.
Okay, Andy, you say your house isn't tidy. Mine isn't. I mean, I got like on this table and chair over here. I got a couple clothes. I got a couple shirts. I think I have one pair of pants. I need to put them in the laundry, but I just set them there. I don't see any. No, I don't have any dishes sitting around. Um, yeah, I can pick up my clothes that I got on this table and chair over here, and I could probably dust a bit. I mean, my trash is empty. Everything is relatively picked up, except for this table and chair over here. Um, yeah, it's tidy. It's like, but neither you or I, Undead, have a poop bucket next to us. And I never understood that. I like, how lazy do you got to be? Like the most people's bathrooms, all you got to do is walk across one room. and you're pretty much right there. You might have like another like 5 feet or so if there's a hallway. But most people bathrooms, their toilet is like within like a 30-second walk from wherever they are.
Trash. They plot against you. They hurt you. I'm turning off the chat right now because I said I want people
Yeah,
to
where does she go to the
listen.
bathroom
I'm not
now?
going to.
That's what I'd like to know. They're living in a tent. Where does she go to the bathroom now? Does she walk to a public bathroom, however far away it is? It could, if there's a public restroom near her, it couldn't be more. It couldn't be closer than a half a block. I think it'd be extremely rare if she's within half a block of a public restroom. So she's got to go a lot further to a public restroom, or does she just squat where she's at? Does she just walk outside for like 5 feet and squat? Um, which would be nasty because I mean, well, she had a poop bucket set next to her for a couple of years. So when I mean next to her, I mean like within like 3 feet, and she would eat, sleep, and poop and live stream all in that same area. Like, come on, man. How do you live like this? We know you lived like this. I mean, you're not even home. This isn't even when you're homeless, and you live like that. You live in absolute filth and laziness, and you're going to claim superiority. And you're out now. You're out in a tent. You're out living in the woods like a freaking animal, and you're still claiming superiority. I don't understand it.
Allow you to distract people. Yes, I have a past. Yes, I've said things I regret. But that does not make someone a terrible person for being human. Everyone has a past. Everyone has skeletons
That
in their
wasn't you
closet.
being
And
human.
every
That was you being inhuman. The things you did to your kids, the things you did to the uncle's house, the things you've done to every place you've been in. And I'm not saying that like when you move out of a place, like there's damages that you have to be held accountable for. That happens to a lot of people. Um, no, you destroyed the places you've lived in. Okay, your house, then you went from your house to your mother's house. Your mother father said they had to clean up the house you left, and then when you left their house, then they had to like do a major cleaning, which took months, several months, um, at her house when after she kicked you out on Christmas Day. Then you destroyed at least one house that I know of before you went to the townhouse or one apartment. You destroyed that apartment, and you said you had to replace everything. How do you have to replace everything unless it's destroyed? Then we have the video of what that townhouse looked like when you left it. You went over and you stayed in G-Man's house that he got from you, and then it became his house. You lived there. You destroyed that house. Then you went to the uncle's house and you destroyed that house because it had to be condemned. 5 houses that I know of. You destroyed them. You didn't just do damages. You trashed them. You practically destroyed them, if not outright destroyed them. At least 2 that I know of you destroyed. The townhouse and the house you were evicted from. And I would wager to bet the others were in the same condition, pretty much.
everyone says things that they later on regret. I am a person who makes mistakes, but I'm also a person who learns from my mistakes and grows from my mistakes. Now, there is an evil entity out there that's going to try their very hardest to smear my name. I am not one to be smeared. God will not be mocked, and neither will his.
Okay, like here she is. She's claiming equality with God. So if you say anything bad about Shanny, then you're saying it about Jesus. Yeah, and Shanny needs to protect. Shanny is protecting us from Jesus because if we didn't have Shanny's protection, if I didn't have Shanny's protections, Jesus would show up and kick me in the balls. Apparently, that's how she sees it.
Servants. The judgment of God is coming really soon, and people need to start waking up to that reality.
Why
There's
don't
going to be
you?
a false flag. I'm thinking in the fall. I'm pretty sure in the fall, probably around September, there's going to be a false flag attack. That
Okay, so when October rolls around, you said September. You said fall and specifically September. So don't try to backtrack like false prophets often do. Well, it's still technically fall. No, you said September. So when October rolls around and nothing happens like you described, then yeah, you're going to be a false prophet. Um, you know, a lot of people who try to make predictions, they become like cult leaders and stuff. Um, they try to word their predictions in a inobvious, vague way. So it's kind of like saying, but this is really obvious. I predict that there's going to be rain sometime in the next 2 weeks. That's a pretty safe bet. There's a pretty high probability of that happening without the prediction. So I mean, they will say stuff like that. Shanny, you just came outright and said that there's going to be a false flag operation, and she's about to announce it now, where it's going to be from Iran. Iran's going to be accused of like blowing something up falsely. Well, gee, Iran is a terrorist uh, country, or well, the country is run by a terrorist regime, and so they might be accused of doing some terrorist stuff. Well, gee, go out on a limb, will you?
false flag attack is going to be blamed on Iran. The government is also a demonic entity. We are not ruled by Christians in this country. We are ruled.
Nobody says we are. Our government is not ruled by Christians. There is a lot of people in government that happen to be Christians or supported by Christians. Why can't you make those distinctions? That is not the same as saying that we are living under some kind of theocracy. In spite of what a lot of anti-Christian people who hate Christianity and don't like it, in spite of what some of them try to say, we are not living under theocracy, and there is not an attempt to make it so. Because even people that have like tried to get that kind of support, like the last I remember hearing about any kind of organization that was even close to doing something like that was the Moral Majority, and they had a lot of opposition. Oh, and there was what was it? Some promisers or promises something. I vaguely remember hearing about that. They were not as famous as the Moral Majority. Um, I forget the name of the pastor that was ahead of that, but that was back in like the 80s and 90s, and he passed away some time ago. He is the guy that got into it with Larry Flint. Uh, the CEO or the owner of Hustler magazine, and he used to go back and forth with that preacher all the time. They even went to court. They even went to court over something. Something like Larry Flint said something about, oh, what's his name? Falwell? What's the pastor's name? Falwell? Jerry Falwell? Is that sound right? I don't know. But it was a long time ago. And anyway, so Larry Flint said something really bad about his mother, like like she she did some sexual thing, and then he said it publicly in his magazine, and uh, the pastor that was head of the moral majority took him to court for defamation, and I think he lost. I think the pastor lost his case.
Ruled by Baalists. We are ruled by people who worship Moloch. We are people
Oh,
who
shut
worship
up.
Lucifer, even though
Yes, yes, Shanny, you're right. We all gather together, on Sunday, and we go to church, but underneath the church, there are altars to Moloch, and we all go there. Every Christian in the country, Shanny. Oh my goodness.
it's the most stupidest, retardest thing you could do is to worship
Oh
a
yeah,
false.
I remember now. There was a group called Promise Keepers that came in on the tail end of the moral majority's reign when they were famous, and they were called the Promise Keepers. I think they got into a bit of trouble, like maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and the group just kind of like disintegrated. But there was a really big movement called Promise Keepers that within the fundamentalist church, and they were like a kind of a cult kind of thing. Uh, I encountered them at my church once, and they kind of creeped me out a bit.
Fallen angel that did nothing but want to see your destruction, and that's why he makes you do all these evil, fucked up things to people. It's for your destruction, it's to kill your soul, it's so you.
Nobody makes anybody do anything, Shinny. You have to choose to do it. That's why sin is called sin. It's okay. If you want to go back to the original sin, you know, they had all the information that they needed to not do the thing, okay? To not eat that fruit. According to the story, they had all the information they needed. It says, look, don't do it, or this bad thing is going to happen. This is really easy to understand. So, and God was the one telling you, He's running everything. He's like, He would know. So, if you eat it, you can't blame it on somebody else. You can't be like, oh, they tricked me. It's like, I really tricked you? Really? How could they trick you into eating this unless they're convincing you that I lied, that I'm keeping something from you? And what should you have done in that situation? Of course, I can't really judge too harshly because odds are I would have done the same thing. But if everything was like good and all that, if you were like going to maintain your goodness and everything, uh, other than outright just refuse it, why didn't you ask God? Why didn't you go up to the serpent and say, hey, look, I'm not going to eat that fruit right now. I'm going to think about it a bit. So why don't you just go away? Or you can stay here, I'll go away. And next time you see God, ask him, this is what this creature said to me. I'm pretty sure we would have had a different destiny if that would have been how it went down. But no, when you choose to do evil, you have all the knowledge you need to not do it.
You cannot commune with God. Me, I commune with God every day, and I see his angels
BS.
always around me, protecting me,
Liar.
consoling me. These people want a smear campaign to take away from the message of anti war, anti genocide, and anti pedophiles. They want
So all the people that are saying bad stuff about you, they're pedophiles. They want war. They want they they don't want God. They oh my God, she is elevating herself to like divinity. She's elevating herself to divinity. Like every day I talk to God. Really, why do you fuck up so much? Like, come on, man. Every day you commune with God and you still make the same horrible choices you make. Like, oh goodness, goodness me.
to take that message away, and they want to
Her
turn it
stupid
into what
hurts
I
me.
did in my past.
Dad posted that. Her stupid physically hurts me. Yeah.
While ignoring their own past and their own present, while they're doing worse to people than I have.
Shanny, you have no idea of my past. You have no idea of the past of the people that you're talking about. You're using this broad brush and you're putting everybody under the same judgment. And it always gets me. I've made this point many times. Why do you think me saying and I mean everyone else too? Why do you think us saying bad things about you is the worst sin we've ever committed? Man, if I think back of my past sins, man, I would curl into a little ball. If God brought up my past sins, and believe me, the least of the things that would cause me to take a step back and be like, no, no, God, please have mercy. The last thing on that list would be how I talk about you.
Ever did in my entire life. I do not spend my life going around trying to destroy others.
Yeah, you
I
do. Yeah, you do. Look at what you did to Jason. Granted, he wasn't much when you found him, but he was in much better shape than he is now. He's certainly a lot poorer. He's living in the tent right next to you. You took all his money. You squandered all everything he had, and he had quite a bit.
spend my life by trying to build people up. The very lowest of society, I build them up. I make them realize that they are worth it, and there is someone that sees.
When, where, how, who? Shit. I build people up. Really? Point to a success story. Really? Be like, hey, you know that guy Bill Gates? He was nobody. He was just some punk kid, tinkering around with some computer stuff, and he really, he had no direction and everything until Shanny entered his life and built him up. Now he's a gazillionaire. Yeah, point to a person that you have done something to that made their life better. Who has ever encountered you and their life is better? I could probably say that vampire guy and his girl, but not because you encouraged them, because they looked at you and they went, "Yikes! I do not want to be them. I better get my head out of my butt and get with the program and get a job and everything." That's, I mean, if you improve anybody's life, that would be the only way it could happen.
And hears them. That is my goal. That is my mission that the Lord Jesus Christ gave me in my life. There are fake Christians out there that want to pose as Christians.
My dad says, "I want to know about your sins. Call me later." Well, that's kind of disturbing. I don't think I want to do that. I know you're kidding, but still.
while they go and they do nothing but smear people and dehumanize them. They are not believers in God, because if they were believers in God, they would edify someone who's already.
So if you're a believer in God, when somebody abuses their kids, you're supposed to pat them on the head and say, "Oh, that's all right. Do it more. Keep doing it. You're forgiven." That's what we're supposed to do? Because you want to sit around and not do a dang thing all day and just we're just supposed to make sure you get fed. We're supposed to make sure that you have money to spend. We're supposed to make sure that you got plenty of weed and whatever else you take, Delta 8 and all. I would suspect you do some hard stuff occasionally when you can afford it. Um, well, really, you shouldn't. And when I say when you can afford it, when you got extra money, you know, Shanny, most of us know the real reasons why people are homeless. And there are two main reasons. Most homeless people fall into this category. There are a few exceptions, but you're not one of them. And that is either they got mental illness or they do drugs, probably both. And I also include alcohol in that. So that's like 90% of the reason why people are homeless is because they have substance abuse problems that they picked up because they have a mental illness that they're not getting taken care of, and they self-medicate with drugs and alcohol, and that destroyed their life. So you pretty much fall in that category because we have watched you. We have watched you over the last several years. And we pretty much knew this is where it was going to go. Because neither one of you would work. And you just wanted people just to keep giving you money. And maybe YouTube would have worked out if you didn't keep violating terms of service. But you're the one that violated TOS. And this is why you can't do the success on YouTube. This is why you can't get monetized unless you do identity theft. You can't monetize because you violated TOS several times. You put your children's abuse on live stream. You put your conditions of your house on the internet. You put all your cringy information on the internet, Shanny. There's nothing you don't put on the internet. You put your sexual activities on the internet. You put your sexual conversations on the internet. You have live streamed yourself taking a dump. You have live streamed yourself talking about your extra chunky periods. You have live streamed yourself talking and saying the most disgusting, vile stuff that I would never have imagined people put on a live stream, the things that you've done. I wouldn't have imagined it. Jason did a freaking live stream talking about in graphic detail how he has sex with you. And he directed it to me. He made a video to me talking about how to satisfy you sexually, as if I want to know. And it was hilariously disgusting. Like the last person, like I would need sex advices from him, and there'd be absolutely no way in the world I'd ever be with anyone remotely similar to you. As if I've never had sexual activity in my life. Jason's only sexual experience was with that freaking torso and you. And he presumed to lecture someone else? And you're supposed to be followers of God, and this is what you do? sex, drugs, nastiness, talking about all the stuff that comes out of your bodies. Like, Shanny, you did this. You put this stuff out there, and then then it comes out all the other stuff you've done, the grifting, the abusing of your kids, how nasty you've lived in your house. All this stuff is documented. And now you want to act like it didn't exist? Oh, it's just a conspiracy. It's made up. It's
down. They would not keep putting someone down who's already down on the ground. Literally, I have been told that I have no humility, that I'm not humble.
You don't. If you had any humility, you'd recognize where you are and start being, hey, I need to start getting with the program. I need to go get myself an income, not try to become YouTube celebrity status famous, which never works out. It is never going to work out for you. You should just get a job like everybody else. Wouldn't it be nice, Shanny? Even if you had to work a 9 to 5, wouldn't it be nice to have your own place? Wouldn't it be nice to have your own place that you keep clean? Wouldn't it? I had this conversation with my nephew, a similar one. I said, wouldn't it be, because he was griping that he didn't have a place to live and he has to live with relatives. On his mother's side, he's Mexican on his mother's side. So he has like dozens and dozens of siblings, cousins, whatever. He's got like I don't know them. I've only heard his mother talk about them, but I don't know them. But he has a huge family, and he stays for a little bit with each one, and he'll go like G-Man does with his family. He'll couch surf with different until they get sick of him, because not only is he messed up in the head and has his issues and stuff, he also has sticky fingers, and people get tired of having their crap stolen, because he had a drug problem as well. And so, like, I don't know what that kid's been up to. I haven't talked to him in over 10 years, but that was the situation that he was living in. And he said, oh, I'm so tired of not having a place to live. And I said, dude, knock off the running around with the freaking freaks that you run around with. They're only going to get you into trouble. Just stop messing around with them and go get yourself a job. And it's not going to happen overnight, because and he pointed his finger at me and said, "Hey, Uncle Dave, why are you talking like that, man? You got money in the bank. You got a car. You got nice stuff in your apartment. You got this. You got that." This was all before I had to go to the VA, and so I said, "Yeah, but I didn't just start off with that. Before I had the TV I had, before I had the car and all this stuff, before I had that, I had to ride a bike. Before I had, or walk or ride a bus. Before I had my TV, I had to listen to a radio, or I had to have a lesser good TV. I had to have like not so good TV. So over the years, you add to it. You get something better. I just didn't wake up one day and there it was. So, and that's the same with most of us. Unless you're born wealthy, that's pretty much how it is. And so, yeah, I had a similar conversation with my nephew. And Shanny, you are like that. You want everything now, without ever having to put forth an effort to acquire things. It takes time. It takes work. And wouldn't it be nice for you to come home and it's your home? It's like nobody can take it from you as long as you don't trash the place, which is actually easier than it sounds. All you got to do is just occasionally pick up once in a while. Um, so, wouldn't it be nice to have your own place, Shanny? Wouldn't it be nice if you want something to eat, you don't have to go to wherever that place is you go to. This I don't know what I see something COC see some whatever that place is that serves them meals once a day, and then you're only going to be able to eat what they serve. You can't choose anything. You have to eat what they offer you. So wouldn't it be nice to be able to go to your refrigerator or go to your pantry and be like, well, I feel like eating a meatloaf today. And then like you got the hamburger, you got the ingredients, you got the the pasta sauce, you got everything you need to make a meatloaf. The vegetables that go in it, everything, the onions, you got all that there. I feel like making a meatloaf. Or maybe you don't know what you want. You go into the kitchen and you look and say, well, what, I don't want to, let's see what I got here. And then, okay, well, maybe I'll eat that. Like, Shanny, I got steak and hamburger and chicken in my freezer. I got hamburger in my refrigerator. I got milk, I got bread, I've got canned goods, I got stuff that I forgot I had. Like I even got some grits. If I just want to just have like a quick little breakfast. Shanny, it doesn't take a lot. But you have to start.
Do you know the definition of humble? Do you know the etymology of the word? It means on the ground. I'm literally on the
Well, I don't like. I could easily fact check that, but I don't really care. We all know what humble means. It, it's similar to the word humility, and there's also another related word called humiliate. These are all words within the same family of definition. Okay, humble means that you're not pumped up. Shanny, you're not humble. You're claiming to be the superior human being that's going to judge humanity. That is the opposite of humble. That's pride. Not only that, it's blasphemy. You know what humble is? Is that when Jesus goes to judge me, and if he asks me this question, I don't think he'll ask the question because he knows the answers anyway. Like he'll be like, "Do you think you deserve to be in heaven?" I'm like, "Not at all, not even close." So yeah, that's humble.
ground. How humble can you fucking get?
Oh, here's another humble state. If you like see like a pair of shoes that you want, you'd be like, nah, the ones I'm wearing, I'm fine. I can still get some use out of them. I don't need to buy that. I mean, there are degrees to being humble. You don't know what humble is. You are the I don't know. I guess it depends on your flavor, but the things you just claimed, and the things that Von Helton claims, and the things that Jesus claims about his own position in the body of Christ, um, they're none of it is humble. None of it.
I sleep on the ground. I sit on the ground. I walk on the ground. That is humility.
No,
That
she changed the definition of humility so that if you're poor then you're humble. No, that doesn't mean that. It should, but it doesn't.
That is humbleness. Because I choose not to conform to a society that is broken, conform to a society that is doomed to end. I will not
I don't
conform
think I'm going to be able to get through this whole thing. I keep pausing it and running my mouth.
to a society that is satanic. I will not conform to a society that wants to protect a country who kills babies. I want nothing to do with that society. Society is evil, it is broken, and it will be destroyed by the Lord thy God very soon. Trust me on that. I have the spirit of Elijah in me, and because of that, I am the one who will announce.
If you have the spirit of Elijah in you, then why do you need to beg? I don't recall Elijah being a beggar. If you said, and not only that, the person that had the spirit of Elijah is not you. It was John the Baptist. That is blasphemy right there. Not necessarily blasphemy against God, but it's blasphemy. So, and what did John the Baptist do? He wasn't a beggar either. You keep saying that you're similar to all these people, like Jesus when Jesus was walking around traveling and stuff. That, oh, Jesus was homeless. No, Jesus wasn't homeless. He was traveling. And when he said no place to lay his head, he said that he isn't like in a permanent, like stationary place where you can build a home. Jesus stayed with other people. He didn't live outside. He wasn't homeless. He was able to stay with people. People loved him. They let him live in their homes. He had at least two wealthy people in his entourage that's in the Bible I can think of. One was Lazarus, and the other one was what was his name? Joseph. Joseph of Arthemia. I can't remember how to pronounce it correctly, but that was the man who got his body down from the cross and put him in his family tomb. So he had, and I'm sure there were others. He had wealthy people in his entourage. Like he wasn't without resources, and not only that, he had his Father in heaven, giving him what he needs. So John the Baptist ate honey. He ate wild honey. And I think locusts. I don't. That doesn't sound appealing, but I guess it's an insect and they're high in protein, and there are cultures that do eat insects. Um, Technically, a lobster is an insect. No. Uh, it's in the same family as a spider. So it's a what do you call it, arthropod or anthropod? I can't. I'm not a scientist. Heck, I don't know. I barely understand junior high school science.
His coming, and he's coming very soon. So you better start fucking repenting, people. You better start getting on your knees, evaluating your behavior, evaluating your thoughts, and being like, is this
How
what
come
God
you don't? Why are you telling us to do this? You're telling us to do this is because you want us to bow to you. You just pretty much said so. That you just said that you were humble, but here you are claiming that, oh, I'm a prophet. I got the spirit of Elijah in me. That's not humble. That's not being humble, Shanny. And it's a BS lie anyway, but it's not humble, not at all.
want from me? No, it's not. He told you to take care of the poor. He told you to
In order to
take
take care of you.
care of the widows. He told you to take care of the children. He told you to be there for them.
Now, how come you didn't? How come you didn't take care of your children? How come? Somebody else had to take care of your children. So in that, that they're going by the Bible more than you. You refused to take care of your children, and then the state had to take care of your children. So whoever that foster parent was, they're following the Bible more than you did. You abandoned your children. You neglected your children, and you're gonna sit there and be all high and mighty and point your finger at everybody else. I've never neglected any children. What are you talking about?
And you're not. You're so distracted over the mistakes of one's life that you cannot
In other
see
words, you're supposed to just forget about all the horrible crap she did and just reward her. Just reward her. Just give her a free house, give her free food, give her free money. You're just like we're going to put all the past behind us, Shanny. Here's all these resources, and you can just continue to be as vile as you want.
the reality of what's going on right in front of you. Your soul is dying. Little by little, every day, your soul is dying. The more you put someone down, your soul is getting deader and deader and deader. The more you treat someone like trash, the more your soul is dying. Do you get it? Do you not get Lucifer's trick? Because you're so high and mighty thinking you're special because you got money for doing what you do. Do you know there are Craigslist ads that people pay for smear campaigns against people?
Oh no, I don't know anything of this sort, and you're probably making it up. But Shanny, people aren't getting paid very much to do what it is you're accusing them of. If they do that, I get roughly maybe $40, $50 a month from YouTube. So about every third or fourth month, I'll get like $100 or $150, something like that. About every 3 or 4 months. That's no, that's all I get, Shane. That ain't much. That's a drop in the bucket. That's nothing.
People, did you know that? It's true. How many of you motherfuckers got paid to treat me like trash? How many of you? How many of you? I bet it's a lot of you. I bet it's a lot of you who get paid to treat me like trash. You included, Buff. What they pay you. What they pay you in order to destroy your soul. You stupid motherfuckers. You want to come around a person who's doing everything she can to survive,
But
everything
you're
she
not.
can to
Well, how many jobs have you worked? Like you don't work a job, you don't get paid. So what are you talking about? You're doing everything you can to survive. Yeah, as long as it doesn't include jobs, as long as it doesn't include an income.
keep people going, and you want to smear her and make it seem that she's evil. Well, she's not. Actually, I am glad I am separated from society. I am
Mhm.
proud that I help people that need to be
I thought
helped.
you were humble.
I am proud to be by their side.
Doesn't sound
I
like you're
am
humble.
proud to be a friend of the homeless.
How can you? How come you? How can you be proud and humble at the same time? How's that possible?
Jesus Christ was homeless. He didn't even have a rock to
He
put his.
wasn't homeless. He was traveling. He was going around preaching. He stayed in other people's houses. He didn't sleep outside, Shanny. She doesn't even know the gospel stories. She doesn't even know.
Head on, and here you are bashing homeless people like you're some kind of entitled fucking bitch. You're not entitled to hurt people, no matter how.
Shanny, you are hurting yourself. All you got to do is shut up. But you can't do that. You got to just spew crap out of your mouth as often as you want, and you expect a big fat reward for it. You expect a big pat on the back. There's nothing else you can do. See, I think this is part of it. She can't do anything or won't do anything, so this is all she's left with. It's like Vaughn. They can't pull away from the internet to go take care of their life.
How much you get paid, you're still not entitled to it. Because the Lord is taking count on every single time you hurt someone
And
who
I
is
mentioned this before. It bugs me. It bugs me so much that these people that are saying, "Oh, God's going to judge you because you're terrible. I can't handle you. You are awful." It's always the other person that's being going to be judged. It's never them. It's never, "Oh, we need to get right with God because God's going to judge humanity's sin." It's never that conversation. It's always, "You need to get right with God because you're not like me. So you need to become more like me so that you can go to heaven like me." It's always that. It's never the truth. It's never the right way. Shanny, I know God is going to judge you. And the reason why I know God's going to judge you, because I know he's going to judge me. And I'm sorry, if he's going to judge me, he better damn sure judge you. Because that would be bullshit. I'm sorry, but that would piss me off. That the idea of that would piss me off. If somehow God's going to judge me, but not you, fuck that. Because if that were possible, I would bring your name up. I would. Well, what about Shanny? Oh, well, I gave her a pass. That's not fair. Shanny's done worse shit than me. But I know that's not how it's going to go down. I know that God's going to judge everyone, and he's going to judge everyone fairly, Shanny. You're not going to get out of this. Everybody has a judgment day, whether you're at the beam of judgment or whether you're going to get judged for all eternity of where you're going to spend your eternity. Everyone's getting judged, Shanny, on some level. You're not going to just walk into heaven and Jesus will be like, "Oh, hi, Shanny, walk on in." No, he's going to have to deal with your issues.
the least of these. Jesus Christ said, "Whatever you do the least of these, you do unto me." Why are you hurting Jesus so bad? That's what I'm wondering, huh? Self-proclaimed Christians out there with your smear campaigns, with your gossip. How many of you? How many of you do this to the least of these? How many of you?
You're
You
not the
should be
least.
fucking
Shanny,
on
you're
your
lifting
knees
that verse out
crying
of
out for
context.
forgiveness
You're
to
lifting.
God.
Oh, shut up. You're lifting that verse out of context. He said, "Whoever done the least of these," that is a judgment at the end of the age. In fact, the end of the next age, not this current age. So this current age ends when the Antichrist is here and is dealt with. Then this age ends. The next age, where he reigns on earth for 1,000 years, that's when they ask Jesus, "Oh, Jesus, you've been living on this planet for 1,000 years. When did we ever see you poor? When did we ever see you naked?" So at the 1,000 years that's over, that's when that conversation takes place, Shanny. It's got nothing to do with any of us now. So take that least of these bullshit and shove it up your ample butt, okay? Because it doesn't apply. Sorry, there was
Because every single time you do something to me, you do it.
There was a fly buzzing around here. I'm gonna have to. I need to get me some fly spray or something. There, it just went by. I don't know. I don't know what's over here that would attract it. I don't have any garbage in it laying around or anything. I think it got. I think it got in. Yeah, I have an open window because I just cleaned my cat box, so my window's open in the back room. That's probably where it came from.
Unto him, you stupid, foolish people. Do you get that? Do you get how much you hurt Jesus? Do you get that he's taken?
Well, okay. So when you made your kids suffer, you were hurting Jesus.
an account, do you get that you're going to be accountable on the day of judgment
Yeah, how
over
come
the
it's only
little
one
secret
way? How come that is only one way, Shanny? That if whatever we do to you, we do to Jesus, but it's not that way when you do to others? That doesn't make sense.
things you do? Do you get that? Now, I may not be perfect, but I try my best to do good. I try my best to not sin. I try my best to be loyal, to be friendly, to be
Really, what we have observed is your best? You suck even more than I thought. But that was your best? Wow.
kind, to be empathic, even to my enemies. To my enemies out there. If
I
I
freaking
saw
hate that
you
word now.
sitting on the street crying your eyes out, not knowing what the fuck to do, I would be there with my arm around you telling you it's gonna be fucking okay. That you
So that's okay. That's what you do. If you see somebody hungry, you go and you put your arm around them and tell them it's going to be okay. How about getting them some damn food? Like, Shanny, the last person's arm I want around me is you. It'd be like you put your arm around me, and then I'd be like, wow, man, it feels like I'm wearing a sweater. That freaking arm would be back behind my back, and I'd have like half my back would be covered up by your loose skin, by your flab. Like, no, no, you're not getting near me, woman. Like, no, you're not putting your arm around. I don't want your arm around me. You try to put your arm around me, and I'm punching you in the face repeatedly until you go away or until I can get away.
can get through this. That God is on your side. You know why? Because I do it every fucking day of my life. Every
No,
day.
you don't. What are you doing? What are you talking about here? Then you go and you have a session with God every day, and you discuss plans of activity of righteousness. Is that what you do every day? And then we see you pull this crap that you pull, griping and moaning and complaining about what people have done to you in your life. If you're okay, and this is another thing that don't make sense. Okay, Shanny, if I was in your position that you claim to be in, where you could have every day you have a one-on-one with God. I mean, face to face, or what, however that works. And wouldn't you be like Moses? Like Moses coming down, his face was glowing and everything. He had to wear a shawl over his face because his face would be like kind of like how if you look at God, you die. So it's like I don't know. It's God's holiness is so great that even the residue of what Moses saw, because Moses said saw God face to face, but if you read the passage more carefully, it's like God was like turned away, like like Moses was standing there and looking at God's back, like the back of his head. At least that's how it sounded when I read the description. And so, speaking to God face to face is more of a generality, uh, but even still, Moses had to wear a freaking shawl over his face. At least that he'd shock people and cause them to have heart attacks and stuff. So why wouldn't you be like that? Not only that, wouldn't you be like for the whole day you'd be on cloud nine? Man, I had a conversation with God and it was wonderful, and that would just I don't know that would just make you just have a great sense of peace and contentment, and you really wouldn't care about these issues that you've been griping over, like the $20 and the things that people said to you online. None of that stuff would matter. It'd be like, why would I care about that? I just seen God. I just spent an hour talking with God, and I actually seen Him. Why Why would I care about all this other nonsense? I mean, wouldn't that be your attitude?
Of my life, I'm consoling someone, I'm helping someone, I'm making them feel better about themselves. Because being thrown away from society.
No, I'd rather you buy me lunch, like, or no, just give me the money for lunch. I'll go get. I'll bring you back a receipt, but I don't want you anywhere near me while I'm trying to eat. You gross pig. Like, no, 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 no.
Society is hard. Walking everywhere is hard. Not knowing when your next meal is hard. Only
Okay, do something about it. Like, you're in a superior position than me. You're like you're right there. You're right there, right under God's nutsack. Okay, so why don't you unfuck yourself? And I don't mean that as blasphemy to God. I'm just saying it in an absurd way because it's BS. Shanny's nowhere near God's presence. And if somehow she found herself even within earshot of God, she would faint dead away.
having one meal a day because that you know where to go to get one meal a day. It's hard. Not being to bathe every day, that's hard. Trying
You know what, Shanny? I go to my job. Like, I have to leave for my job here in a little bit. I go to my job every day, and it's not hard. I get paid for my job, and the way they got it set up, I can get paid every day. It's not hard. I drive a car wherever I want to go. I don't have to walk. It's not hard. The hardest thing about driving my car is actually parking it at the gas station and filling up the tank. Not hard. If you had a job, things would not be hard. Well, they'd be less hard. They get less hard gradually. You have to keep at it. But eventually, things will be less hard, and after a while, they won't be hard at all. But you have to work at it. It takes time. But one thing's for sure, you would be in a less hard position if you had a job. Think about it, Shanny. But no, you don't want that. You just want to just lay around and just lecture and bitch and moan and gripe over freaking measly $20. A measly $20. If it would do any good, Shanny, I'd give you $20 just to shut the fuck up about it. And you know what else I get? I get Social Security now. I just got my first Social Security check yesterday. It came early. And it wasn't hard. So why are you talking like this? First you say you're humble, then you say you're pumped up, you're this awesome spiritual person, and which isn't humble at all. And now you're saying that, oh, my life sucks ass. That's what you're saying here. It's hard. My life sucks ass. It's hard. Well, enjoy it. You earned it.
to figure out how the hell am I supposed to get this money for this one thing that I need in order to get better.
Drugs,
It's
cigarettes.
hard. And you kick people down when they're
Oh, then it sucks to be you, Shanny. Miss Superiority. Spirit of Elijah. It's hard. Is that what you said to Vampire when you put the sex on him? You know, when Jason had to go for a mental health vacation and you were in the tent with Vampire and you put the sex on. Is that what you said? It's hard. That's what she said. That's what she said.
at their lowest. You don't build them up. All you motherfuckers out there telling people to get a job. Get a job.
Yeah, get one. That's what the rest of us have. And I never understood that. Why is that so awful? Could somebody please explain to me why working a job is the worst thing in the world to these people? Can somebody please explain why that's so freaking awful?
Job. Shut the fuck up. Are you offering a job? How can you tell someone to
Well, so
get a
now not only do we can't tell them to get a job, if we do, we have to provide the job. We have to get them the job, and then they accept the job, and then they tell us to show up for the job and work it. They hey, why do you offer me a job unless you get a job, work the job, and then give it to me and give me credit for working that job that you worked. I mean, it's so freaking stupid. You can barely follow the thread. It's so freaking just nuts.
job when you have no offer for them to get a job? How can you tell someone to get a job when as soon as they get a job, you get them fired from the fucking job?
Nobody gets anybody fired from any job. The only way you can get fired from a job is because you failed to do what the job required. An employer can get into all kinds of trouble if he fires you for no reason. And that makes no sense at all. Why would he go through the trouble of hiring you just to fire you for bullshit? No, if you lose a job, it's because you fucked up. I guarantee you, you fucked up. It might not be obvious where or how, but you fucked up. And most of the time your boss will tell you, you fucked up. You shouldn't do this. So this is why I'm firing you.
You're abusive, you're manipulative, you're evil, and you're all gonna go to hell for it because you do not repent to the Lord Jesus Christ. Instead, you sit there self-righteous, thinking you're better than someone because you have money. All good for you.
I'm not better than someone. I'm in a better position than someone because I made better choices than someone.
What does your money do for you other than make you a bigger asshole than you were when you were poor?
So only homeless people are good. The rest of us out here working and making the country function and stuff, we're the assholes. Shanny, if we weren't out here doing our jobs that you despise so much, you wouldn't be able to be where you are. I know you're homeless living in a tent, but you wouldn't be able to get a free meal. Because in order for that free meal to exist, people have to donate resources to that place. And they can't do that if they're not making money at a fucking job.
Appreciate the finer things in life. You can't appreciate a glass of water like
A
I
glass
can.
of water is the finer things in life. You know, when someone says finer things in life, I think of like people at a fancy restaurant drinking champagne, you know, dressed to the nines and all that. Like you go to a fancy restaurant, you spend hundreds of dollars. That's what the finer things are. I personally never experienced that. You know, but I've seen pictures of it. I've seen it in movies, you know, other things, lifestyles of the rich and famous and so forth. Jesus, this woman.
And you can't appreciate a morsel of food like I can. You can't appreciate a cigarette like I can.
I'm quite sure. Shanny needs every morsel of food there is. Yeah. That's so ridiculous. You can't appreciate a morsel of food like I can. Like she's freaking starving. But we know what that means when she says that. I mean, she inhales all the food around. She's bitching about having one meal a day. Like you're lucky you get that because you don't fucking work.
Know why? You take that shit for granted, yo. You take everything, all your wealth for granted when it can slip out of your fingers real quick. All you need is an earthquake, a mudslide, a flood, and all the
And
fucking
it will affect you more than anyone else because when disasters happen, it's the poorest among us that suffer the most. They suffer first, they suffer hardest, and they suffer longest. So you better pray that never happens. Okay, let's say, for example, that you're still homeless in a tent, it's the middle of winter, and all of a sudden we get this real severe cold snap like we did back when you threw G-Man out of the house all those years ago. We get this Arctic blast that actually some people froze to death. There was a few, like usually I think it was an elderly person or something. But people actually froze to death in their homes because their heat went out. And so let's suppose something like that happened again. Who do you think is going to suffer first? The person living in their home or the person living in a tent? Who do you think is going to suffer the most when that happens? The person that has heat in their house, it might not be functioning very well, but it's there. And not only that, their house is insulated from the cold, mostly. So you can survive without heat for like a day or two. But who do you think is going to suffer the most? The person in the tent, you. If there's like an earthquake, who do you think is going to survive the earthquake? The person living in a building or the person outside in a tent? Come on, Shanny, think. Think, you moron. Think. Why don't you think before you run your mouth?
wealth you brag about is gone. And then you have the nerve to look at people who are homeless and call them scumbags, lazy.
I usually eat one meal a day. I might have a light snack. On my day off, I might have two meals a day. But usually, if I'm out working, I'm running around and stuff. Um, I'll have one. I might eat something really light, like a piece of bread and a glass of milk or something like that in the morning. Like this morning, I didn't eat anything. My stomach wasn't feeling it. So yeah, I was having like cramps and a little bit of nausea. I mean, I feel okay now, but it really kills the appetite. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with eating one meal. I had one meal yesterday. I cooked up some hamburger and made some macaroni and cheese and mixed it together. Real simple, real quick.
Disease, a drain on society, when the biggest drain on society is the military industrial complex. But you don't want to go and acknowledge that, do you? You satanic fools. You don't want to acknowledge that at all, what the biggest threat and drain on society is.
Okay, I only got a little bit of time left, so I want to skip ahead to where she's doing that sing-songy kid voice, and it was just before her video ended. So I'm going to skip ahead just a little bit here because this is pretty much all she does. It's just repetitive. She's just bitching and moaning about her lot in life and how everybody else sucks for not letting her live like we do. Like that's what we're supposed to do, really. You're supposed to let Shanny move in, and then she just gets to sit around and do what she did in the house when she was in the uncle's house. That's what she wants. She just wants you to provide a place for her to live, and she has her area. She got her poopy bucket, and you're supposed to service her, clean up after her. You're supposed to do everything. bring her food, bring her dope, bring her money, and listen to her rant about bullshit that she barely knows anything about, and listen to her rant about how privileged she is in the eyes of God, and how we're not recognizing it.
Treated me, it was very MK Ultra. It was very
I'm starting to wonder if this is
invalidating
even the
and
same one. This is even the same video where she's doing that. Let me see here.
by the Lord thy God. The Creator has my back. The Creator will always have my back because I'm favored by Him. You know why I'm favored by Him? Because I
Okay, I might have the wrong video.
said this before that I don't have a competitive bone in my body. I don't because I actually ill, unhinged people. How
Okay, I think this is the wrong one. So let me. Oh, it might have actually been on her channel. So this is probably where I saw it. Yeah, it was this one. Yeah, this is the one. This is the
you
latest
just
one.
showed me this.
You know, and the thing is, her spiel is so repetitive that it doesn't really change much. So let me go here to the end of it. I'll react to this as a whole. I might do it tonight, depending on how much free time I have. But so let me go like towards the end here. I think this is where she's doing the kid little sing-songy thing, like neener, neener, neener.
Trying to understand them.
Yeah, here we go. I'll move forward just a little bit more here. This is about the last 10 minutes.
Legal. It is a hate crime. Do you get that? You want to try to push everyone you don't like into suicide because you're fucked up in the head and you're so insecure.
Yeah, she's talking about Buffweeb here.
Person, man.
Where was
Maybe
it?
your dick will get more harder if you destroy some more. I want the power!
Yeah, I think it was after this.
Yeah. You have no real power. You just have the illusion of what power is. Real power, real strength comes in sacrifice. Real strength comes in not giving a fuck of what anyone has to fucking say. And you do your own fucking thing. That's what real strength comes from. You, on the other hand, you just want to exploit people for your own fucking pocketbook. And the people are so fucking dumb that they actually give you fucking money for you to lie to them.
Why does she hate us, Undead? It's because we're comfortable and she's miserable. She's actually, this whole thing is jealousy. She's jealous of everybody else that have homes, that has money in the bank, that has food in their refrigerator, has cars to drive, clean clothes. She's jealous of people who live that way, but she doesn't want to do what everybody else does in order to have those things. So yeah, she's jealous that she's not living as a child in somebody else's house.
You're paying for fiction, folks. You're paying for fiction. And then you pretend that fiction is truth. That's called delusional thinking, by the way.
She was singing
Delusional.
like a kid in here somewhere. A thought it was towards the end.
When they tell them what the pay you to tell the truth,
I wonder where it is. Maybe it was in the middle somewhere.
put them under control so I can do what I want with them. I warned you. You didn't want to listen. You didn't want to treat someone with
Okay, this might be
respect.
it.
You didn't want to go and treat them with human dignity. You want to be this big man, this big boss yelling at me, yelling at a woman.
I'm just a dainty little thing.
You want to
That
yell
pisses
at a
me off.
woman. You probably want to go and choke me out. I'll be honest with you right now. Do it. Do it. Do it.
God, if if she was in real life with me and we were in private and she did that shit, oh my God, I'd be so tempted to beat her ass. I would be so tempted. Oh dear God.
Probably not going to, though. Probably too much of a coward to actually do it. But again, do it. Do it. Make my day. Make my day. I'll go to heaven. How about that? I'll go
Are
to
you
heaven
sure?
while you go to fucking
Are you sure?
jail. Do it. Do it, motherfucker. Do it. You see? And you're right. All they have is obsession. You quite right. That's all they have.
I'll tell you what. I think she's doing that. She did it somewhere in here. I can't remember where it was. Where she's going, or she's going, "You suck," like she's a kid. Like she's doing that sing songy little kid thing. Like like you got in trouble. You got. It's kind of like that, but I don't remember where it was. I'm pretty sure it was somewhere in this video. But when I heard that, I was going like, "Oh God, you got to be kidding me!" Because that emotionally, Vaughn's in that too, but emotionally, her and Jason, they're like children. They live like children. They expect things like children do, and I don't know what to do with someone like that. I really don't. I mean, in real life, I really wouldn't know what to do. I would try to get away from him, just simply because I don't know what to do that's not going to cause me to have a problem. So I got to get away because, man, I'd be so tempted to beat the shit out of them. I really would, and that's not good. That's not good at all. And so yeah, okay. This is what I'll do. I have to go take care of my client here in a little bit. When I get back, I'll try to cover this. I'll try to cover this video here. So I'm going to have to end this. Okay. I don't know how to get out of this here. Full screen. There we go. So stop sharing there. So yeah, I was trying to figure out how to get out without revealing my uh, desktop. So I gotta go, y'all. I gotta take care of some stuff. So I will talk to you later. And peace, everyone. Have a good day.